Hi guys, welcome to Code Decode. So today we are going to cover the topic what is equals and hash code contract. So first we will see what is shallow versus deep comparison and how do we tell the compiler that consider these two Java objects as equal programmatically. And finally we will see what will happen if we don't adhere to the rules of equals and hash code contract. By the end of this video, you will see a live working example of how we can make sure that we have followed all the contract rules and what happens programmatically if we try to break any of the rules of the contract. So for getting the real soul of this particular contract, please watch this video till end. We'll start with the programmatical example itself, right here, right away. So have you seen this particular code, right? The main class. Before that, I'll create a particular class for you, which is employee. Fine. So our aim is to make sure that two objects of this employee class are logically same, but not in the physical memory addresses. So how do we do that? So let me create some attributes for you. Say private int id. This is nothing but the employee id, and private string name of employee. Fine. Now since I have this, I have the id with me. I'll just go to my source. I'll go for generate getters and setters and I'll generate it for both of them. So this is my class perfectly ready for me, as simple as that. Now this is the main class, right? So I'll create an object employee. No, let me create this even for you, equals to new employee. Fine. So this is how you create the first object. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do even.set. I'm going to set the integer value of id as 1 and I'm going to set the name of this particular employee as John as of now, temporary name. Now I'll create one more object for you, which is nothing but an employee e2, and I'm going to set it as 1 and John. So can you see these two objects we have created with a new keyword? So technically these two objects will be created in different memory locations, but now my idea is to make the Java compiler understand that these two entities are logically same. Why? Because they have the same ID and same name, which is technically this ID is particularly unique thing. So I want to make sure that Java compiler understands that these two are common objects. So first let's understand what is shallow comparison. So I'll show you how do you do the shallow comparison. Fine. So to do the shallow comparison, you do nothing but you do even equal to e2. So what is it? Yes, this is nothing but a, okay, you need to make it in a bracket because it is confusing for the Java compiler without the brackets. So now issue is gone. So what does this do? This does nothing but a memory comparison. Like what is the memory addresses of the even and e2 objects. So for sure, as of now, it is nothing but the different because we have used the new keyword. If you would have done e2 equal to even, then this will prove you true. But as of now, it is not true. It is going to be false. So this is shallow comparison. Now I will tell you what is deep comparison. So deep comparison is nothing but comparing the internal details too. So for that I will need equals method, and for that I need to like override the equals method, but as of now I have not overridden any of the equals method. So this is the first part, what is the shallow comparison and deep comparison, and I'm going to show you the results here. I'm going to run as Java application. It says shallow comparison also false and deep comparison is also false. So what is the motive here? The motive is to make you understand what is shallow comparison, what is deep comparison, and second motive of this video is to make sure that Java understand that even and e2 are the same object. So for that we are going to use the deep comparison technique to make sure that even and e2 will return me true. So my next motive is to make this particular variable true. So I'll go to my employee class, and I've already told you that in the java.lang.object class, which is the generic and the parent of all the objects in Java, it has a public boolean equals method. Remember, I've told you this. And it takes nothing but an object as a parameter. And it returns whether the two objects are same or not. And from whom does that compare? It does compare nothing but from the this, that is the current keyword, current object. So this is the first part of equals and hash code. So how do we implement the equals method? Remember, I always implement the equals method in 3 steps. First, the step I'll see whether my object is null. If it is null, or in case it is not even an object of, just a second, it's not even an object of employee class. So how do I check that? I check that with get class method of again object, right? If object not equals o dot get class. So this will make sure that either the things are not equal or one of them is null. So I will return false for it. Fine. In that case, we need one more bracket here. Now second comparison will be if my o equal to this, that is I have created my, how will this be true? I have told you just a seconds before. If I'm going to make this e2 equal to even, then this particular thing will be true. So they are actually pointing to the same object references, hence always return true in that case. So this is first step to check whether it is null or not, and secondly whether to check whether it is of the same class, whether of my current class only. In that case, if it is not, then return false. If this is the memory addresses of both the objects are same, that means physically they are same, so logically they will for sure be the same. So these two conditions are handled, and now this is the real condition. So first I have an object of O type, right? I have to make sure that it is being typecasted properly. So I'm going to create an object E, which is nothing but a typecasted way of object O. Correct? Now I have an object E. Now I'm going to return what? This is in a single line written. Fine, understand this. This dot get id. So what my particular thing here is that if the employee IDs of two objects are same, that means the two particular objects are same, right? So this is my simple way, e dot get id. If my employee's ID is equal to my current object's ID, then I have to return true, else this particular thing will return false. So this is how you implement the equals and hash code ka first part, which is equals method. So what did you do? You checked whether it is not null or the same class. If it is null or it is not of the same class, return false. If they are pointing to the same memory location, return true as it is without checking anything. But if both the conditions are not working here, then what we have to do? We have to create a particular typecasted object into employee, and then you have to return the true or false based on the IDs. So now after implementing this was my initial condition where shallow comparison says false, deep comparison says false. I'll remove this and I'll run it again for you. Now the deep comparison says true. So this was my first motive, which is what we have achieved till now. So this was all about equals method. Now let's get forward to the equals and hash code thing, right? So finally we'll get to the contract. The contract says that, just a second, if two objects are equal with the equals object O, this is nothing but a method of object class, then the hash code for both the objects must be same, and the hash code is nothing but an integer value which defines where at the memory location, at what location does this particular object is going to store in the hash table. That I'm going to cover when I'm going to cover the internal working of hash map or hash table. So currently understand that hash code is nothing but an integer value which shows the memory locations. The second point of the contract says that if it is not necessary that if you have the same hash code for two objects, necessarily means the two objects are equal. So if E1 and E2 have same hash codes, doesn't mean that E1 and E2 are the same objects logically. This is nothing but a condition of collision when your hash code generates the same hash code number for two objects. So better to use a better hash code function to prevent this collision. So these two things are clear to us, that if the two objects are equal by equals, then for sure hash code should be same, and if the hash code are same, doesn't necessarily mean the opposite is true, that is they are equal for sure. Now third, whenever hash code is invoked on the same object more than once during the execution of a Java application, the hash code method must consistently return the same integer. This is for sure. Like this is something called as consistency, right? So if one object returns an integer like 1 with the hash code function, then after subsequent executions of the same method, trying to get out the hash code, same one integer must be returned. So this was the hash code contract. So we have seen one part of it, the how to make the two objects logically equal by overriding the equals method. But now what will happen, what I've done here is I have not overridden the hash code function. So why is it very important to override the hash code function? Because I will see in the next slide. So this is my memory location, fine. So I say that it's divided in chunks with some buckets, and these are my memory addresses and buckets, fine. So the first memory bucket is at 1000, then 1004, 1006, 1008 and 1010. So now if my hash code returns for even object as 1004, and now I say that what equals method, my e2 is same as even, but the hash code is not same as e4 even, then what will happen, it will end up in a different bucket, which is logically wrong. So this is the worst condition when I'm going to create these even and e2 as the key in the hash map. I'll cover that in the later videos, but understand that this is the worst condition you can ever have when you have logically two entities equal with equals method, but they have different hash code or different memory locations for the hash table. So to prevent this particular scenario, we have to override the hash code. So what we will do nothing but similar to like how we have implemented the booleans equals method, we are going to do nothing but also override the hash code method. So there are two ways. I'm going to take a simple one. So I'm just going to do public, and this hash code returns the int value, right? So hash code method, and I'm just going to return, since my id is the same, so what I'm going to return is get id. Simple as that. Why? Because my id is also type integer. There are many more ways to implement hash code. Don't come up after saying to me that they should be a prime number. I understand that, but this is the simplest way of getting the hash code, because I'm sure that for all the employees the id is going to remain the same and it is of type integer. That is why I've taken it as this. But if you don't have any such ways where you have to make sure that your thing is primary or completely independent of anything, just take a prime number as 31, multiply that with 1 and add it to this particular integer and return that result. That is also the way to do that. This is the simplest way to implement the hash code thing. So this is as good as how you can implement the equals and hash code function. This is how you implement equals, this is how you implement hash code, and by making this for sure, your even and e2 will land into the same bucket by making this particular method, because they will return the same id at the end. So both are returning 1, then if they whatever the memory location 1 is somewhere here, even and e2 will remain in that particular thing. So this is how you make the contract work. So if you have any issues with equals and hash code contract, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you.